Okay, so my dad bought that Ford Fusion new in 2007. It's 2026 and the thermostat has failed and it's no longer able to pass smoke. So let's fix that. Okay, so I want to maintain that this engine is pretty reliable and it's been a great car for almost 20 years. But when it comes to working on this thing, man, is it a pain. Like, it's so tight just to get anywhere in here. So to get to the power or the thermostat, I'm gonna have to remove the power steering pump, which entails me having to remove the serpentine belt, which I gotta replace anyway. I think the idler pulley is bad as well. But look at how tight it is in here.
Okay?
So step one to getting the serpentine belt off is gonna be to take off the passenger side front wheel, and then I'll be able to remove the inner fender liner, which will give me access to the idler pulley or the belt tensioner pulley. Oh, that's all it took. No need, Dudley. Okay, so the power steering pump is off. Next, you can finally see the thermostat. You can see the top two bolts right there. You got the two coolant lines. I'm probably going to replace these, to be honest with you. And then you can see the leak from the power steering pump that's been going everywhere. Make sure you pull this electrical connector off the power steering pump, and this way you can move it out the way. So I'm going to take those two hoses off, and then take those three 8mm bolts out. And then I should be able to just put the new thermostat in there and start putting everything back together. Also, the bottom bolt on the power steering pump, there is no easy way to get this. You just got to get a 10mm flex head ratchet or flex head ratcheting wrench and just go for it. It's going to be a pain. You'll be contorting into weird angles, but that's the only way you're going to get it done. See right there, the thermostat. And yeah. Okay, so now it's the next morning. You can see I got the thermostat housing and thermostat off. Right there you can see the empty hole where it used to be. In order to do that, I did end up having to cut the coolant hose that was connected to it. You can see that's the original Formoco part, and it was just seized onto the coolant thing being 20 years and all that, 20 years old. So what I ended up doing is trying to figure out how to replace that hose. So this may have made this whole process even more complicated, and I got to admit, this is not an easy car to work on. Everything is so tight together that it's just a pain to get to anything. But I'll show you what I mean. I pulled off the lower skid plate tray. Those are all 10mm. Now I need to pull off the lower bumper supports, under trays, or whatever they're called, in order to get access to the lower radiator hose. Now, those other bolts that were on there are 10mm, right? So you would think that they would have used 10mm. No, they look to be a little bit smaller. Maybe they're 8mm, right? Because 8mm is a small size other than the big ones that most people have. Now, it's definitely smaller than 8mm. They have bolts that are smaller than 8mm holding on this whole fucking under tray. So I gotta go find out whatever the size those bolts are to take this off so I can get to the lower radiator hose right here to take it off, and then take off the 3 other things that it's connected to in order to take it to AutoZone, to make sure I get the right fucking hose, because there's like 10 different coolant hoses for this car. You can't really see it that well, but must be millions of them. They're just all over the place. I don't know where that hive is, but it must be massive. Okay, so I probably should have just drained the coolant this way in the beginning. Now that I got that lower panel off, this way I didn't have like a massive pool of coolant underneath. I'm gonna let that go in. I'm gonna go inside, let that drain out for a bit, and then pull the lower radiator hose, go to AutoZone, match it up, make sure I'm getting the right one, and start putting this thing back together again. Actually, I can probably start putting the thermostat housing on now. Okay, so I finally got the low radiator hose out. This you can see is a lower radiator hose. This section goes into the lower radiator. This part is where the coolant overflow reservoir connects to. And then this bend is actually the separation between this radiator hose and the top of it. So there is, if you go to AutoZone, it'll be radiator to coupler, or radiator to hose, and then hose to engine. There are 2 lower radiator hose sections. This whole setup cost me about $140 at AutoZone, and it comes in 2 different parts. You can see right here there's the O-ring in the middle, and this guy right here just clips right on. Why it needed to be 2 separate parts and why it needed to cost nearly $150, I have no idea, but hey, I'm getting there. I already transferred over the low radiator hose clamp that's on the radiator right now. I've connected the coolant overflow reservoir connector to the low radiator hose. I'm going to take this guy off here and this one here, because this section is the one that goes to the thermostat housing. Okay, so now here is a new Ford thermostat. I've had this at home for damn near like 4 years now. I'm finally putting this thing on. Okay, so I got the O-ring on here, put some O-ring grease on it, just like I did the midway point of that hose. I'll line this guy right on up, just like so. Okay, and so there is the new thermostat. You can see the O-ring is seated in there. I'm gonna very carefully take it down in there. And line it right up. 2 smaller 8 mils, which are these 2. And next up, I just gotta tighten up these 8 mils. These are all the same length, actually, and I should have checked that earlier. Shit. Okay, now you can see all the bolts are in there for the new thermostat housing. Just gonna tighten those 3 bolts down, then reattach the hoses. Okay, so I'm not 100% sure where this particular hose goes. I know it connects onto here. I just don't know where it goes after it connects onto here. So there's that one right there. So I'll move that hose connector on there, tighten that one up, and then I'll get the new Duralast lower hose that I put on there. Okay, so I'm currently under the car. I just clipped the top and the bottom of these hoses together. And I just gotta find a way to figure out how the fuck these routed back up there again, because I cannot really remember. Maybe it went like this, and like that, up there. But then where did you go? Like this. Let me go back up there and take a look, see how it's going. Oh, shit. I don't understand why a manual transmission car has to have this complex of a coolant routing thing going on here. Like, doesn't really make sense. to have this much shit going on in this tight of space. For a car that has 4 cylinders and nothing else going on with it. Okay, so that's in there. So then that means I have to go down here, make sure everything's connected so it doesn't hit the fan or anything else. Get back down here. And it looks like the main thing I gotta do is clip this into here, right? Just like that, I think. Yep, so that's clipped in there. Then I'm just gonna open that clamp up, and then open that clamp up there. I think everything down here should be complete. Honestly, I'm not too sure how well this is gonna hold up. The Ford one held for 20 years, but this is Duralast, so we'll see. Okay, so then I gotta move this clamp down here over here, and then this part's mostly done. Okay, so I was originally trying to use that original spring clip that was on there, but it's been fighting me and being a massive pain in the ass, so I'm just going to be using a regular worm gear hose clamp. Pop that on there, and we'll go from there.
Okay, I'm gonna be totally honest with you. It's been a while since I shot that video that you just watched, and I kind of forgot about it. Luckily, I was backing up my phone for EDC, and I remembered, so here it is. I'm just gonna do a quick overview and button up some stuff because there's a lot of footage that I didn't record towards the end because I was just trying to rush to get the car done. So what we're gonna go. The car now runs and drives great. Put the thermostat in. Check engine light went away. I believe the last part of the video is where I'm putting in the thermostat and the coolant hoses. Yeah, it's literally just bolt everything in. I added a little bit of extra sealer, some water pump sealer around. No, I didn't. I added some O-ring grease, and it's been fine. No leaks, no issues. Add the correct amount of coolant in it, the correct Ford color, and yeah, car is probably going to be set for like another 150,000 miles, hopefully. I'm probably doing a timing chain at some point. Whoa, no. This car is getting brakes next. There are some videos on the F-150 coming, namely that light bar. Let's see, still got to upload the videos on the TC of the fog light install, the sub and stereo install, plugging up the cat, the LED lights and stuff like that. And I literally just went to the junkyard to get some door panels and stuff for the Explorer because I'm switching the interior panels out. Got some parts for the Crown Vic, which... Where's the Crown Vic? Oh, I know where it is. Which I'll get to in a minute. I'm going to turn these lower ambers into strobe lights. Our Crown Vic is an 06, so it didn't have the amber tail lights. So yeah, that's going to be a whole nother video in a bit. But yeah, I'm off on vacation, so I'm making a bunch of progress on everything. Yeah. Anyway, if you like the video, hit like. If you want to see more videos like that, hit subscribe. Do whatever else you do on YouTube, and have a good one.